Welcome, everyone, to the Transformation Nurse Academy podcast. This is our weekly episode, Talk with Kevin, where we cover topics for all nursing fields with extra emphasis on emergency and critical nursing. Get ready for candid discussions that explore the vast landscape of nursing and beyond.
I'm going to do a little sponsorship here with Central Valley Medical Education. I want to bring to you Central Valley Medical Education. They offer Heart Code Complete in BLS, ACLS, and PALS or PALS. It is 24/7 access in Fresno and Las Vegas, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Fresno. There's no instructor needed. There's no more classes. It's a 2-year instant certification, and it's for LVNs, RNs, MDs, and any healthcare professionals. Don't forget my RTs out there. I love you, RTs. So you complete the online class. You go to, so once you register at centralvalleycprclasses.com, once you register, then we will send you an access code to the RQI One Stop to do your online class. And then you're going to, once you complete your online class, you go to one of our Heart Code mannequins or a VAM, a voice-assisted mannequin. Once you complete your skills, you get your instant certification. For all healthcare providers, you get an online class, you get a free ebook, or the ebook's included, should I say. You get the skills check, and you get your instant certification that is American Heart approved. So don't be afraid to try it. CentralValleyCPRclasses.com. If you don't like that, then you can do our traditional classes at www.morethancpr.com. You can text us and email us, you can text us and call us at 559-765-0306, or you can email us at classinformation@morethancpr.com. So again, I hope that you support us. We're a small business. You know, me and Roberto, Miss Pat, all of our kids and stuff, we're here. We love you and we appreciate you. So don't forget, CentralValleyCPRclasses.com. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Kevin. This is the Transformation Nurse Academy podcast. Appreciate you following me. As you notice, I did not say anything dirty today because I'm trying to be a better person, not saying some foul mouth. If you miss it, though, put a little thing out there and let us know about that. So a little shout out. We're going to do a few different things because I got to say thank you, first of all, to all of my listeners, which, you know, it's not a whole lot, but I appreciate it and stuff. So this is from @nosaltbp.org. I'm a nurse in California. We do have nurse-patient ratios. In this particular case, a PICU nurse cannot be assigned more than 2 patients. In order for the RN to protect her license, never accept report on any patient for which you cannot provide care or where the quality of care is comprised, meaning don't take an assignment where you can't be safe. So thank you, nosaltbp.org. I like that, nosaltbp.org. I like that. All right. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, but not everybody works in California, so not all facilities have patient ratios. So I don't know where the lady was. If you don't know what she's talking about, I had a post where I talked about a nurse who was a PICU nurse that they wanted her to take 3 or 4 patients and she went home sick. So I agree with her that you should do that. All right, so here's another. Oh, look at this. The same person. Look at this. I love you, No Salt. You are one fine woman. NoSaltBP.org says, wow, I'm sending nurses to your channel. By the way, we have a physician in Orange County, California. No Salt. I'm just wondering if it's the same physician that used to work at the facility I did here in the Fresno area who made me crazy. She says, by the way, we have a physician in Orange County, California, in court now. Can you speak to RNs, in particular to male RNs, how to protect themselves when conducting assessments on female patients? What the doctor did is terrible. In my career, I've never seen anything like it. So I can tell you, No Salt, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff by dudes. I won't tell you what facility I work at if you figure it out. That's on your own. But we had a doctor in the ED. If a female patient came in for elbow pain, I'm not even exaggerating this. If a female patient came in from elbow pain, he would want to do a vaginal exam. And what blows my mind is none of the female nurses would ever say anything to him. When I started working there, I would tell my female patients, I'm like, listen, this guy is not going to do a pap smear exam on you because you're here for elbow pain. I would ask them, does your vagina hurt? And they would say no. I'm like, then why are you letting the physician check your vaginal area? There's no need for that stuff. So if you're a male nurse and you had to go in for a female patient, always take a chaperone. Don't get crazy. Take a chaperone so you don't get in trouble. I don't even put in foliage in female patients anymore. I'll go to you, Salt BP, and I'll say, Salt BP, I will take your terrible worst patient if you can come put this female catheter in so I don't have to do it. I'll be your chaperone, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get in trouble for sexual harassment or any kind of things like that. So I get you, Saul BP. I think every male nurse and every male physician should have a chaperone so that way we don't get in trouble. All right. So I totally get that. So here, let's look at some other things here. So this person here says, I love you, Saul BP. You're like my number one fan and stuff. I got to meet you. When can I have you on the podcast, Saul BP? Because not only are you an excellent nurse, and a good judge of character. You're also pretty damn beautiful. Is that okay? I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble for saying it. Maybe I'll go to a nursing court or something. Don't be mad at me, okay? So I just want to make sure that I look at all my followers who followed up and listened to stuff. So if you do have comments, I do appreciate it. I love that you listen to me. I try to help you. I've been a nurse for a long time. I started my first IV in 1987. I was a combat medic. I was a trauma ICU nurse. I've been a PACU nurse, and now I'm an ER nurse. I don't know everything. I'm learning NRP a lot. I'm learning neonatal resuscitation. I'm learning OB now. I'm trying to focus on my weaknesses so I'm a better, well-rounded nurse. So if you have people that are out there that say they know everything, maybe you should walk the other damn way. So what we're going to talk about now that we talked about Saul BP, and don't be mad at me, Saul BP, we're going to talk about a terrible subject here. This nurse, he's a former East Texas nurse sentenced to death. Fuck you, Robert. You got me drunk as shit. I love you, Robert. Maybe you should play my favorite song. I'll sing to everybody. You know what my song is? Yeah, let me put some echo on. Something's got a hold on me lately. No, I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in and the devil's knocking at my door. Whoa, out of my mind. How many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? All right, Jane, that's good. I hope you can get that out, Jane. All right, Saul B. So this former East Texas nurse sentenced to death for killing 4 patients at Tyler Hospital. So this happened way back, I don't know, 2018, 17, I don't know what year. Jurors on Wednesday gave the death penalty to a former nurse, William George Davis, for killing 4 patients at a Tyler hospital. I grew up in Texas, so I'm not very far from where he worked. The jury found Davis had a probability of being a danger to society and found that there are not sufficient mitigating factors that would hinder him from receiving the death penalty. After the hearing input from the jury, the 114th District Court Judge Austin Reeve Jackson issued the official sentence. The jury deliberated for just under 2 hours after the hearing that the last bit of evidence from the defense in the closing arguments. Davis remained stoic Wednesday as the sentence was pronounced, but he cried after a victim's widow said she forgave him during the victim impact statement. So Davis, 37, of Hallsville, was found guilty October the 19th of injecting air into the patient's arterial systems while he was a nurse at the Christus Trinity Mother Francis Louise and Peaches Owen Hart Hospital in Texas. Man, that's the name of a hospital right there. He caused death of patients John Lafferty, Ronald Clark, Christopher Greenaway, and Joseph Kalina, all that we know, though. So on September 28th, the start of the trial, Davis entered a plea of not guilty. The jury's guilty verdict came after the prosecution presented evidence for 11 days while the defense put on 4 witnesses across 2 days. The punishment phase on October the 20th with about 4 days of additional testimony. Davis faced either life in prison without parole or the death penalty. In both phases of the trial, Davis elected not to take the witness stand. Of course, he didn't want to go up there and be a little bitch and complain that he was misunderstood. How are you going to inject air into patient's arterial system and think that makes me nuts? Compton said people who commit drug offenses are involved in gangs, and people under 30 are most likely to be associated with violence and crime. What the hell has that got to do with anything? In closing statement, Smith District Attorney Jacob Putnam told jurors that the call that Davis made from the jail the same day he was convicted proves he's not upset about what he did. So I don't know what call they're talking about, but maybe I can find out. So he said he did this to work more hours and get additional money to help his family's financial situation. Davis also told his ex-wife what happened to Kalina and the other patients were accidents. I don't believe that, man. I think you're a fucking nut. I think he deserves the death penalty, and the law supports the death penalty, of course, Putnam said. So this is crazy. This guy injected air into the patient's arterial system to kill them. So what was the purpose of that? If he felt guilty, I don't understand his rationale stuff. So you got to think about this kind of goofball, right? So William Davis Jr., he was born on February 3rd, 1984, is an American serial killer and a former nurse. He was convicted of capital murder for killing 4 patients with air injections that received heart surgery at the Christianist Trinity Mother Frances Hospital in Tyler. So I don't understand why he thinks that was okay. So this is something you got to think about. And if you go back and look at his pictures, if you look at his history, I don't know what to say about this, but in 2018, about a month before he was arrested, Davis looked at an article online that says list of serial killers by the number of victims. So, I mean, what does that say already? They do have, and I'm not trying to promote them, but they do have a Netflix program that you can go and watch. So the Netflix show is called William George Davis, Healthcare Horrors, episode 43. So if you want to go and watch that, you can. But Agent John Day, who analyzed a laptop Davis used, found a person using the laptop either started searching Mother Frances Hospital or fully searched Mother Frances Hospital, possible serial killer. Someone who used the laptop also looked at 2 pages about serial killers on the same day. Following the guilty verdict, Davis called his ex-wife. He said money was tight, so he would find ways to prolong ICU patients' stays by hurting them so they would stay sicker. He said this would allow him to work more hours and therefore would make more money. Dude, you're fucking nuts. There's so many jobs out there that you can go get a damn agency job. Like, that's crazy, man. I think you're a freaking nut. Like, you need a lot of help because you don't need to kill people to work more. So if that's your thought process, something wrong with your ass. In a similar case earlier this year, a former nursing assistant who killed 7 elderly veterans, a former nursing assistant who killed 7 elderly veterans with fatal injections of insulin at West Virginia Hospital was sentenced to life. A federal judge called Rada Mays, so Rada Mays, the monster that no one saw coming. So this happens more often than you think, but Maida Reyes apparently injected people with insulin so she could kill people. So I don't understand that. So it doesn't make any sense. So these are things that you got to worry about when you're talking about nurses and all these stories that come out with nurses killing people and stuff. We got to find a way that we can help our industry as a nursing profession to elevate ourselves so we're not killing everybody, like what it is that we're doing. So think about that. All right. So what are we going to do about fucking William George, and his nursing murders? Not a whole lot we can do, but he was sentenced to death for killing these patients. So I don't know what to tell you, but how do we get to improve our patient care, improve our patient safety if we got all these freaking nut ass nurses killing people? So I encourage you to speak out on it. Give us some ideas of what we can do to change the way we hold our profession. So, all right. So this is a short episode, but I appreciate you listening to me. Give us your feedback on George. Give us your feedback on saltbp.org. I love her. She's a beautiful woman because she loves watching my show. So I want to talk to you about a serious thing that we need to discuss. This is called alcoholism stress. So I had a anonymous person on Facebook post a question. And this is serious because a lot of people have a hard time. So it says, this nurse is struggling hard with alcoholism. It's a combination of work stress, understaffing, shitty manager, etc. Literally all things. Also, the demands of family, social, and political turmoil, and basically just balancing life. How do we, as nurses, cope with these things in a healthy way? What are our employees doing to help us stay healthy and maintain a work life balance? What outlets do we have to cope? So this is really important to me because, I've been through a lot of crazy stuff in my life. I do drink. I'm not going to say, but I'm not an alcoholic. I do enjoy my alcohol. And if you are an alcoholic and you can't say no to the bottle, ask my brother Ken. He knows. He's been sober probably, I don't know, 11, 12, 14 years. All of you people that out there that are on Alcoholics Anonymous or any other kind of groups, share your thought process. We need you to share your stories because we do have a lot of problems in healthcare where we get stressed and we don't have time to debrief. I've been in the healthcare field since 1987. I've been through a lot of codes. I'm not even making this up. I've never had one damn debrief. And the thing that people don't understand, I've had in the last 5 or 6 years, I've known two nurses come through the emergency department that have been psych patients. One was an ER nurse and one was a NICU nurse. So, what can we do as healthcare professionals to help ourselves so we don't go nuts? We have a lot of stress. We see a lot of death. We see a lot of dying. How can we help each other instead of drinking, smoking, doing drugs? Now, if you do those things and you're happy, I get you. But what about the people who get addicted to stuff and they doesn't help them, but it hinders them? So, what can we do as a group, as a society, to help each other find other coping mechanisms that will help us you know, be better and stuff. So there's a lot of groups out there that will help nurses find other kind of coping mechanisms. So how about going to the gym, finding some kind of anonymous things that you can do, hobbies and things that you can do. Sometimes the best thing you can do, even though that you serve people in the hospital, you can go to food shelters. You could go to women's. What are those places where women abuse batter programs where women get abused, children get abused? Why don't you help those people? Because a lot of times when you help other people, it makes you feel better about yourself and your situation. I don't want to preach. I don't want to bring religion to this, but there are other places that you can go that will help you and stuff. So one person says, if you don't mind, Shauna Smith, okay, quick question of the topic. How do you deal with coworkers who make jokes about our patients? Oh, that's a good one. Another person says this topic hits hard. This doesn't just impact nurses, but anyone in patient care. Just thinking about it makes me mad at the system and the lack of compassion and understanding from the powers that be. Another person says, honestly, I don't think people that work in healthcare, nurses especially, have a support system where it's okay to admit you have a problem or where you're struggling with something, be it addiction, depression, anxiety. We have to worry about our jobs. We have to worry about our judgment being called into question and risk our license. It doesn't create a safe environment to reach out for help, which is ironic because nursing is literally about helping people. And it's one of the most stressful careers. Another person says the program and fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous has helped me remain alcohol free for 17 years. So there is support out there, and there's a lot of people who need help. But how do we get it without losing our license? How do we get it without judgment? These are the things that you need to do to help one another. So, like I said, I'm not an expert on this. I have had experience in a diversion program. I did hold continuing education classes for people who came to the diversion program. If you are not familiar with the diversion program, it is for nurses who are doing drugs, who are doing alcohol, who are doing other kind of things that need help, and they do get a second chance. If you don't believe in second chances, I don't even know what to tell you. Just unfriend me because I think it's crazy that you don't believe in second chances. Cancel me if you don't believe in second chances. Because there's only one difference between the people in prison and you and I, and that's because they got caught and we didn't. You might be the perfect person who never drank and drove. You might be the perfect person who never fucking lied and shit. But I would say 80 to 90% of us have done something that we probably should be in jail for, like drink and drive, maybe do some drugs, maybe steal a little piece of bubble gum or something. And the only difference is you didn't get caught. So how do we help each other without judging people? How do we be those people that are out there helping the poor and the needy like Jesus did instead of being in the pews talking trash and looking down upon people? I said this when my mother died and stuff. I went to her funeral. I stand up in front of people and I say, what do you think that Jesus would do? Not that I believe in Jesus, but what do you think he would do if he was around? He wouldn't want you talking trash. He'd want you out there in the streets washing the feet of a whore and helping the lepers. So, what can we do in our community as nurses and healthcare providers to help those people that are struggling? The problem that you don't see now when you're a younger nurse, because you think you're invisible and you think you're invincible, is when you get to be my age at 55, you're going to have a lot of time to think about the things that you've been through, and that anxiety and that depression is going to kick in. It's going to kick your ass. So how do we help ourselves as a society of healthcare professionals to provide the care that we need in order to keep us safe and healthy? Because if we don't, we're not going to be able to care for our patients. So I'd like to get your feedback. I appreciate you listening to this. I hope that you understand that we can help each other, but how do we do that effectively so we're not making fun of each other and being mean and talking down to each other? All right, I look forward to your feedback. Appreciate you. Again, my name is Kevin. This is TransformationNurseAcademy.com, Transformation Nurse Academy Podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube. I love every one of you. If you know me, you know what I've been through and you know what I've done. I'm crazy as shit, but I love you. And I'm here for you. If you need me, I'll support you. All right, I love you. Peace, bitches. Have a good night.
Don't miss out. Engage with us weekly. Share your thoughts, and let's transform the nursing landscape together.